Hey guys. So, how are you guys doing? So, let's talk about the things that have been going on between Nicki Minaj and Trina. So, I feel like there has been like some sort of ongoing tension between Nicki Minaj and Trina because every time Trina is asked a question related to female rap, she says something odd. I think the recent response that she gave to who is the queen of, I think the question was like, who is the queen of rap, the female queen of rap? And she mentions Beyonce. So I have two people that I want to talk about in this video when it comes to this question, because recently Diamond from Crime Mob did an interview and also said to me, she said some off things in regards to her response. Now, everybody does not have to have the same answer when it comes to the queen of rap, but there's some things that I'm going to put into perspective as far as being the queen of rap, right? Okay, so first of all, the response that Trina gave, it looks like that stems from the issue that Trina and Nicki Minaj had for her song Baps. So they had a record together some years ago and they were supposed to shoot a video. The video was never shot. And according to Nicki, that's where it looks like there was some issue. But I feel like if there's issue with Trina's team and payment and things like that, I just kind of felt like that should not have messed up the relationship. Now, if I feel like it sounds to me like a power struggle, like Nicki Minaj didn't do what Trina wanted when she wanted it to be done. When I listen to Nicki Minaj and she makes decisions in regards to music, it sounds to me she operates off of business and what makes sense. And I like that about her because there's not going to be time and energy, or there shouldn't be time and energy put into a song or an artist if there's really not going to be any monetary gain, right? So I feel like Nicki Minaj knew or sensed, especially since the record was, they had did the record had been out for a while already, and then to go back and do a video, and I feel like she felt like it wasn't really going to do anything. So the budget was finicky, so nothing ended up happening. Anyway, it's clear that when Trina's response that she's being shady. Because if you ask a question like, who is the queen of rap? There's so many different things that goes into that. Whether the person is current, when was the person's last record? Is the person still relevant? And yes, people who are titled the queen of rap don't necessarily have to have an album or a song out now. They don't necessarily have to relate to the current generation, but they have to have contributed in some way. Beyonce, I don't even think, I'm not going to say I don't think. Beyonce wouldn't call herself a queen of rap. Everything that Beyonce does as far as a dancer and as far as an artist, she's going to say that she contributed that to R&B, not to rap. So even Beyonce wouldn't define herself as that. So that's almost like Beyonce being offended if you don't reward her for her acting. Her acting is something that she does on the side. Her first love is singing. It's R&B, right? Beyonce has done records with Shakira. I think Beyonce even has a whole Spanish album, but I don't think Beyonce is going to, that's like offensive to now say, oh, Beyonce is the queen of Spanish music or bachata or something. That's weird, right? I think Beyonce did a song in French as well. Jay-Z has ventured out and done rock music. I think he did a record with Travis, if I'm not mistaken. But now it's disrespectful to all of the other artists who have put their heart and their soul into rock music, and Jay-Z does one rock song and then you want to deem him the king of rock music. So I think that's why Trina's response is weird, because you can't dabble in something and then crown somebody the queen of rap, you know, just because they did a few songs. And those songs, I'm pretty sure they were good. I'm not sure which songs in particular she's referring to. I think she's talking about Top Off. I know in Top Off, I think she did rap. And there was some other records, like I think Diva. Neither Diva nor Top Off can be compared to the skills, the relevance, and the contribution that Nicki Minaj has done, you know, thus far. She could have even mentioned Lauryn Hill, because Lauryn Hill definitely has done things that have changed the culture or have contributed to the culture, pushed it forward, whatever you want to call it. But nothing that Beyonce has done, you know, it doesn't change rap or hip hop, or I mean, I thought that was weird. So I think that definitely is shade towards Nicki Minaj because of their previous issue. And to me, I feel like then you guys weren't really friends, or you guys weren't really that close, if something like that can actually cause the friendship to break, right? The person, however, that I was like, what? So I listened to some of, not all of it. I wasn't really that interested. I listened to some of the interview that Diamond from Crime Mob did recently, and she was asked, who does she think is the queen of rap? Now, I do take into consideration that everyone is not from the East Coast. And then also Nicki Minaj may not be everyone's cup of tea. However, her responses led me to believe like she had some sort of issue with Nicki Minaj. And also that it's not that Nicki Minaj is not her cup of tea as far as music, music taste. I feel like she has some sort of issue with Nicki Minaj, which is just kind of typical, right? She says she calls herself the bad guy. So she was asked to name who was the queen of rap, and she named, I think she named Eve. And when she was asked why she named Eve, and she said because Eve showed that she can have a family and that she can do other things and still be successful and still, be great. And I think all of those things are great. I think all of those things are good, but that doesn't define what it is to be the queen of rap. Being the queen of rap is making changes, contributing, being a legend, records that become classics, being able to relate to a generation, even if it's just one generation. I will say Eve is one of my favorites too. I definitely listened to Eve's album over and over and over during her era. I loved Eve. So I'm not gonna say that she can't be the queen. I wouldn't define her as the queen today. She would be in my list. She definitely would be in my list, but I wouldn't put her in my list just because she's a mom. I kind of feel like when females do that, oh, she's able to be a mom, she's able to do this, she's able to do that. I feel like when females do that, it's like it makes us look like we have a disability or something. Of course we can be moms and do other things. Of course we can still be successful. But in actuality, Eve is being a mom, but she's not being a rapper. She's not doing both. Beyonce is amazing because she's doing that. Beyonce has 3 kids and she just did that amazing concert. She had everybody spending thousands of dollars to come out to see her. That's badass. Nicki Minaj is a mom and she's still contributing to the music industry in a way that she's still relevant. And congrats, or hat off to Beyonce, because she's doing the same too. As a matter of fact, she came out and she changed it up, right? She did something different. I think it's called house music. She ventured out and did something different. So kudos to Beyonce and Nicki Minaj, because they're actively still doing music. That's badass. And they're moms. And I'm not taking anything away from Eve, but everything that Eve has done has been in the past. So she can still be somebody's top 5 or whatever the case is. But the reality is it's not current. She's not doing that now. She's being a mom. She's able to be a mom and only be a mom. I think she has a talk show, which is great. But whatever she's doing is not music related. That's my point. It's not music related. So I think that Diamond's choice was related to the bond that she built with Eve, the personal bond that she built with her, and not really based on music, right? Then she was asked to name her top 5. And she named Missy Elliott, who's awesome. She named MC Lyte, which I don't even think MC Lyte was even Diamond's time. Sometimes people would just be playing around. I don't even think MC Lyte was in her era, but okay. She said MC Lyte. She said Queen Latifah. I don't remember the other 2 people that she said, but she said, oh, can I add a 6th person? And then she added Lil' Kim. So that makes me know, since people compared Nicki Minaj and Lil' Kim so much, that makes me know that you do like Nicki Minaj type music, even though I wouldn't say necessarily that Nicki Minaj is necessarily Lil' Kim-esque. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying people compare them a lot. And if you want to add Lil' Kim to your top list, then you're blatantly ignoring Nicki Minaj. So I want to know, I wonder if there's anything behind that. Why do you not like Nicki Minaj? When she told her story about being on the set, it didn't sound like Nicki Minaj did anything to her. It didn't sound like she had any, issue with her. I feel like because she's probably from the same, she's from the same place that Trina is from, she's taken aside and jumping on a bandwagon, and people love to do that. People love to do that. And I feel like that's where this is coming from. But tell me, what do you think? Was Diamond right? Do you think that's truly her list? I think nowadays people are making top 5s or top 10s based on everything other than the music, based on everything else other than what's relevant. It's the music. And I'm not talking about who's getting the top this or the top that. It's influence. It's, how you influence a generation. Because even when we talk about fashion, Nicki Minaj was able to make a lot of young girls wear their hair black on the top and the pink on the bottom. That was the thing, right? The pink print, that era. And I would even say that the reason why a lot of people are wearing Crocs with the things in them is because of Nicki Minaj. She did that epic photo. She was completely naked. I think she was hugging a teddy bear and she had those on. She almost had nothing else but that on, right? People noticed that. And then the sale of those went through the roof. But Nicki, she won't get her credit for that because for whatever reason, people don't like her because she's outspoken. And that's a part of what makes her come with those punchlines and what makes her a great artist, because she has those comebacks. So people like to, I feel like something about her is like people like to say that they want the underdog to win, or they want people to speak out, or they want that person who something is going on with them, they want them to win, but then they don't like for somebody to be outspoken. They don't like for somebody to speak up, which it makes no sense. It's almost like you have to act shy, act kind of meek, and that's like more likable than somebody being outspoken. She's standing up for herself. What's wrong with that? So let me know, why do people jump on bandwagons? Nicki Minaj also talked about being bullied. I looked at the photo that I saw that on. I don't, you know what? It may or may not be true, because I didn't hear that from Nicki Minaj's mouth. I saw that on a photo, beautiful photo of her from high school, and I think a lot of you may know who I'm referring. I mean, which photo I'm referring to. Beautiful photo. You can see her dimple, and it said something about her being bullied, and I think that's where this personality that Nicki Minaj has now, that's where it comes from. You know, always having to defend herself. She's always been very beautiful, and you could tell that even from her mom. She definitely gets it from her mom. And having to be in that energy all the time, having to defend yourself because people are just attacking you just because you're pretty, or just because you dress well, or, you know, you're exotic. I think she's exotic too. She comes from Trinidad, and she has this, you know, look to her. And I think people are jealous of that. And I think that's where a lot of the hate comes from. Let me know what you think down below. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.